Okay, Early, are you set? I'm set.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hi.
And action. Welcome to the Root and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the roots that ground us
And the rhythms that move us. And today we're going to attack kind of it can be a heavy topic. Something we talk about a lot because we are in the middle-aged cohort. We have grown children. And very many of our friends have grown children. And by grown, we mean
out of the house.
Out the house.
Over 21.
Yes. Because really, up until they're out of college or out your house, they're kind of still your kids. They're kind of still kids to some extent. And which is, of course, then that's a whole other topic because some people fail to launch. We're going to talk about that. We've been talking about doing an episode, and this is probably going to have to be a two-parter, on the trials, tribulations, and joys of parenting adult children, because it's such a big topic in our world with our particular group of friends as well.
I think the demographic that would be kind of into our podcast, a lot of those people might be parenting adult children.
Right. And if you're an adult child, you may find this interesting from a perspective standpoint, which isn't to say that you may disagree, and that's okay. I'm abundantly sure my own children are going to call up and tell me how much they agree with everything I say. Fully expect it. We've all met. But,
Right.
But we wanted to have sort of a discussion about it because some of it is so awesome and some of it is so hard. And I don't know about you, but did anybody ever tell you parenting adult children was going to be hard?
I thought the hard part was making sure that, they were safe at a sleepover.
Yeah.
I thought the really hard part was making sure that if there's any challenges in school, we get them the help the resources. Nobody told me that this goes all the way.
Oh my God, you never stop. It never ends. You're just parenting all the time. Except you're not allowed to, but you are, but you're not. It's a whole thing.
Oh my God. And I want to throw it out there with how important our ages are. When we become parents.
Oh, because yes, this came up last night. We had a little gathering last night.
Oh,
this was a topic.
Yes. So, if you, what was your age frame, and how did you feel prepared?
Okay.
As a parent, as going into parenting.
Going into parent. Okay, so I had always wanted to be a parent. Wasn't really cared about being a wife, but I really did want to be a mom. Just saying. I wanted children from the time I can remember. I always wanted. That was really important to me. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. I had my daughter I got pregnant at 25, had her at 26, had my second child at 30.
Wow.
So for my age group, again, I'm a Gen Xer. That's pretty standard.
That was standard, late 20s,
like that's
mid to late 20s.
Mid, like I graduated college at 22, had a kid and a mortgage and a car payment at 26.
The American dream.
Yippee! Again, some things no one told me about.
Right. Yeah. And so you stepped into parenting really at a good age, mentally. What
I will say is I think, how do I put this? I was absolutely ready to be a parent. I wanted to, and I had very clear goals and designs on what kind of mother I wanted to be.
Wow.
I had very unrealistic expectations of what mothering with another person would be like.
Oh yeah, because there's two people, aren't there?
There's a whole two people.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Sometimes they do too. Just saying. I didn't know anything about how to navigate a marriage with children. I didn't know how to. No one told me. I came from a very toxic home. I didn't have what I consider to be any stretch of a good example of a good marriage. Mm-hmm. And marriage with children is a very stressful thing all on its own. Children change the equation so quickly. And so, I mean, you had yours much younger. So I think you were just a baby too.
Yeah,
like that's.
Yeah, my twins were born a year before I shipped out to Desert Storm.
Like that's fucking crazy.
And for the first 2 years of their life, first year and a half, I was out of the country.
You gone.
Yeah, so parenting was great.
Yeah, because you weren't doing it.
All you do is send toys home.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Love you. You're so cute. You had the easiest job ever for a little bit.
Then you come back, and this was with my ex, And it was such a contention because we found out I was a much better husband away.
Yeah, I think a lot of husbands are better away. I'm going to tell you that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Boyfriend, fiance, I was much better. Yeah, okay. And so that, I felt like we started out a little behind the gun, you know, because we were figuring things out. And
you're still that's really young.
We were kids ourselves.
Yeah.
And then you've got ego.
Oh, yeah.
And all that stuff as a 20-year-old, you know, because at 20, you know everything.
Your whole prefrontal cortex is not done.
Did you hear that?
Like,
she
like
just
your
hit you
brain
with some science.
I like science. But your brain is not done cooking until you're like 25 or so.
Mm.
Like, again, there is science. We do know this. So, like, imagine, like, I know what an idiot I was at 20. Oh my God. I can't even, thank you. Like, I cannot imagine.
I was like, oh, I'm going to take the kids. You can't take them to this place. You can't? I put them in a stroller. We walk right in. Why can't kids go to a casino?
Oh my God. Early?
Like, what? Why? Why?
My whole mother spirit is offended. Okay. Oh my God.
But again, part of us were like, we're going to do this our way, you know, because you raised us so jacked up.
Okay. And that's a very Gen X thing that I think a lot of our kids, they've heard it. They kind of understand that we walked into parenthood being really determined to be better and to do it better and to be amazing, while not at all having any idea how to heal our own shit and not knowing even that we were supposed to. Like, there was no, I think for our type of parenting, there was no signpost.
No.
There was no, I mean, and there were books on, I'm doing wrong, there were books on raising children, but some of them were incredibly toxic, like that Dobson idiot who's dead. Yay. And then also,
Focus on the family.
That ass.
Oh,
white.
God.
So, that's abusive. I didn't do any of that because I know better. I can read. But like, I just feel like, and I'm not saying that to give us passes for our mistakes.
No.
Because we made mistakes too. Every parent is going to make mistakes. We all do. I do feel like with this current generation of grown children, what they want to hear from us is an acknowledgement that we made mistakes. And often what we want to do is acknowledge it, but also explain it.
And justify it.
Sometimes justify. Sometimes you just really want them to understand where you were.
Yeah.
Because I'm 55. I'm no longer 35. I can talk about something I did when I was 35 with my kids that I wish I hadn't done, or I wish I hadn't, or done differently. And it's really sometimes, I think, hard for them to hear an explanation as anything but a defense.
Yeah.
They just want this unilateral mea culpa. And I just feel like that's so incomplete, because what that says to me is that you don't want to know me.
It's just one-sided.
Right.
Right.
And like, you care about your feelings, but like, do you not want to, I want to understand why people do what they do.
Yeah.
I always want to know why my kids do. Well, what made you think that was a good, whether it's a good thing or bad thing. Well, why did you think that? Why do you feel that? Where does that come from?
Exploring.
So it's really weird to me that this generation of kids who's so into therapy so often don't want to hear anything. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. And it feels like, and I'm not saying this is the case, I'm saying internally what you're hearing and feeling is they don't want to know me. Not really know me as a person. They only want to know me as that mom or that dad or that whatever. And at this age, when you have kids that are like 25 and up, you really want them to start seeing you as a person, because you've been seeing them as a person for a while now.
Right. And
detaching from your, they're no longer an extension of you. They are their own thing.
They've flew the nest or
right.
Whatever. And those are things that I looked forward to.
Yes.
Like, I can go have burgers and beers with my
Same.
son. I can, do this, that, and that. And again, that was what I wanted, a long time, before I got there. So
you had a vision for it.
Yeah, along the way. And like you said, I started out, I wanted to do it right.
Yeah. We all do, I think.
Yeah. And I made some mistakes. I made some bad choices.
Yes.
And
me too.
My twins and I, we actually ended up growing up on different coasts. Where they grew up on the West Coast. And, there were challenges with seeing them and things like that. So that impacted my fatherhood.
Absolutely.
And if we get a chance, I would love for us to talk about parental guilt.
Oh, that could be an entire episode.
Right.
So much therapy. Still there.
But I think for sure your preparation as a person impacts how you go into parenting.
Absolutely. And I don't think most of us were prepared.
No.
Like, and I don't mean prepared. Like I think a lot of us, because we had parents who did the checkbox things, like the doctor's appointments, they had braces, we went to school on time, and okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of parents in like the people that parented us were not emotionally available or were often abusive because they chose not to do better, I guess. I don't know. Or whatever they're working on their shit too. But maybe. But I'm just saying. Some people.
I love the little quirks after you say
because
something.
I'm always like, well, kind of in my own head. But like, I don't know. Because I think we had no real signposts and no guidance. I think all of us were kind of like, I'm going to be the best at this without really having a textbook of how to be what best is. Mm-hmm. No one ever held up a sign and a graph and said, this is the best parent you can be.
These are some of the listings.
Do these things.
Yes.
And what I said to my kids several years ago was I realized I had tried to be the parent that I wanted. Mm-hmm. I tried to give them the parent that I thought that I had wanted, that I didn't get. So I was parenting myself too. But but that's not what they needed.
Right.
It turns out, from what they tell me, that's not actually the parent they would have preferred. Some of it was, like, they could acknowledge, don't get me wrong, like, my kids had a pretty good childhood. They honestly, all things considered, pretty great. All things considered. In a nutshell. However, so many things I could have done differently because I didn't know. I was so worried about doing what I thought
was the wrong
was
thing.
the right thing to do based on the wrongness I had experienced, that I gave them some wrongness too. And I didn't ask questions. I didn't ask. I didn't know what to ask.
It's almost like using a bad blueprint to build a house. Yes. And then I hand you the blueprint and you say, okay, I'll build it better.
I'll make it better.
You're still using the same
blueprint because that's all you got.
Material.
Boom. Better foundation.
Yeah, but it's still the same blueprint.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I've grown. I think the last probably 10 years, I've grown more as a parent than I would guess than most of their life.
Do you feel more challenged as a parent now?
I feel I have better footing.
Okay.
Only because I have a track record. At 53,
right.
I've done some stuff really bad. But I've also done some stuff really good, like work ethic. I can, part of what I do is prepare people for the next kind of stage of their life. So I'm trying to pour that in my kids. My problem is, don't just give them an avalanche.
Yeah, and we all tend to do that. I think we're like, I found this thing, like I could share it with you. It'll be amazing.
Here, I sent you this on Amazon. It'll be there tomorrow.
You can skip all this hardship that I had to do. Yeah, and it doesn't actually work out. Not number one, but like the thing I hear consistently from parents of adult children in my world is that they will take third-party advice. They'll take advice from anybody else but me, even if it's the same advice. Like that somebody else can say it and it's received.
They have parental filters on.
Oh my God, it's so
they'll come home one day and say, you know what? I should be putting away 10% of my income for my retirement.
How many times have you said that? Have you said that 45,000 times?
And you're like, and all you can say is,
I agree. Good job.
Start. Yes, do it.
And then you go and scream into a pillow. Yeah.
But I think that, now to flip it, I think that's a challenge that the younger, the adult children have with their Gen Xers is the expectation. You got to set a right expectation, especially as we get older.
Yeah.
Because that line of 18 and over, that's a pivotal point for the relationship of a parent and their child.
Yeah.
And
it's hard. Everybody's navigating it, and it's hard.
16 and 19.
Oh my God.
I was jacked up with all my kids. Just
same.
That cluster, 16 to 19.
16. Oh my God. So difficult. Yeah. Sorry. Do I look traumatized? I'm a little traumatized.
And now I have a granddaughter that just turned 16.
That's insane.
It is. I use a good facial stuff. See? Anyway, and so did she. But
Korean skincare.
yeah, Estee Lauder. I'm not sponsored yet.
Yet. But if Anua wants to come calling, we're here. Okay, sorry. This is what happens. We're very sorry. Back to the serious subject.
Yeah,
So,
but I think that when I crossed that line into, what is that, young adulthood?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is 16? 16
you're
isn't...
still a teenager.
Okay, so 16...
So you're still a kid.
Late teens, early...
Late teens are, I'd say 16 to 22 is like such a growth time for developmentally. Their brains are developing, but also society's expectations that they're developing.
They're getting different. They're hearing different voices.
Yeah, sometimes they're thinking more about what they want in their future. Sometimes they should be. Sometimes they're not. They're thinking about what they want in relationships. A lot of them, that's the time of years when they come out of the closet. If they're closeted of being anything other than heteronormative, that's usually when that appears and or comes out and or is dealt with.
Wow.
For some people really badly, and for some people really great. It just depends. That's a whole topic.
We keep getting more information.
I know. Every time we start one of these, it's like we have other topics.
Content ever.
We get so much, like every time. So, so the 16 to like to 22, like, or even if you want to consider 18, like the college years, 18 to 22, which not everybody goes to college, and that's fine. But like, they're grown, but they're not grown. Like they become grown somewhere around 24, 25 maybe. And that's if they leave.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just stay. And sometimes that's great for some families, and sometimes that's really not for some families. Everybody's different, so I'm not harshing anyone's family setup.
No.
Please don't think I am. I know how I am, and I know that I'm an independent person. I wanted my children to be independent people. Whether that was fair or not, that's what I wanted.
And you
for
worked
them,
hard to
get them to be strong, independent people.
Which means some of my techniques.
Well, I think most of my techniques sucked.
Right. And I would say it wasn't my heart, it was my mind. It was never my heart to do those, to
do damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, don't help them with this. They'll figure it out. You better figure it out.
It's okay to fail, because I would tell Mike, I'd rather see you fail and fall down and try again than not try.
Yep.
And I think a lot of parents out there could relate to this, because a lot of us have these kids who are scared to death there's a whole generation of kids who don't want to learn how to drive. They don't even want to.
What is up with that?
I don't know, but it baffles me daily, and it's one of my youngest is this way. And that child moved to a big city with public transit, so he didn't have to deal with it, which is fine. Like, again, problem solved, not the way I would have solved it.
Right.
But that's the way that child chose to solve it. And because I've learned, I'm here to be fucking supportive. So that's what I'm doing.
But in our day,
that would have been insane. You don't want to drive? What's wrong with you? Don't you want to run away from those people? Like, that was all about getting the hell out.
Yeah, I just want to drive so I can sit in the car with my friends and say, "Let's go here.
Let's go
and
play the song really loud."
Drive. Yeah,
yeah.
It was a sign of independence, but I think the goalpost has changed.
Yeah.
For the expectations that society has on that age bracket.
Is it society, or is that just us, parents, or is it? I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know, and it's hard. Because we're in the socioeconomic status that we're in now with our adult children now, even though we had struggle while raising our kids, financial struggle, like sometimes intense struggle. We're on the other side of that now.
Yeah.
And I do think, obviously things are much harder economically for this generation, the current iterations of young adults, like without question. And by that I mean, like, say 35 and under. Like, absolutely, housing prices are insane. The wage gap is ridiculous. Like, there's so many things we could point out and say it is harder. It is quantifiably harder to adult than it was for us. We got the very tail end of the good life. It didn't last, but we got the tail end of it when we entered it.
And then 2008.
And then 2008 happened, and everything went to shit. Well, technically 9/11 started it. Like, if you really want to go back, 9/11 was the beginning of that end, in my opinion.
Wow.
If you really trace it back. So
that was a pivotal time.
And so when 9/11 happened, my youngest was not quite 2.
Wow. So
And my oldest was 4 or
so
3 or
they
4.
grew up in a
Post 9/11 world.
with what is it, threat level orange, threat level,
Whatever, yeah.
not being able to get through the airport
Yes.
quickly.
And just so y'all know, where we live, we're in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the home of the largest naval base in the world. So
Right, yeah.
when 9/11 occurred, people who lived here was like, we all expected to be next. There's a lot of us who went to school to get our kids like I did, because we really thought that was it.
Wow.
We thought we were dying that day.
And see, I was in Philly,
Right.
right? And
Oh, you're right
yeah,
there.
and it took me hours to get, because I went to work. Now this is how stupid I am sometimes. So I go to work, I'm late, and
Early was late. Okay.
so I'm coming up through the concourse, no TVs,
Right.
just walking through.
It's back in the day, but pre-internet.
Yeah, so I get up, I walk into the hospital, I go to my unit, everybody's gone. So I see them all gathered, in the briefing room that doctors have. So I'm trying to squeeze in there here, and I was like, "What? Did somebody die?"
Yeah.
And then I saw the TV, and I was like, "Oh my God!" But I think that as a black man, I had a different
Oh, I'm sure.
experience and outlook on that than others. But yeah, we're talking about kids,
Yeah.
so that'll be another. Check that on our list.
There's
Somebody's
one.
keeping track for us, right? But I think that when you have kids that grew up in those traumatic times that aren't even traumatic to us anymore.
Well, our kids in particular, I think, if you're thinking about the kids that have been born since 2000, let's just say, or raised through that time, it's been nothing but trauma. We had 9/11, we had the 8 recession. My kids in particular got to live through 2 divorces. Well, really one that they remember, and financial just disarray. Let's call it disarray. I call it a shit show, but
A financial quandary.
a financial hellscape.
Full
So I do think that's impacted their levels of sensitivity to emotional upset.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, I think I have to think like on a subliminal level that has to have impacted all of them in some way, even if they don't even know it.
Secondhand trauma.
Yeah.
Because if they're small, they're in a house and they're
Feel
soaking
it.
up all that energy.
I was
that
terrified.
tense-
They felt it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. There was a very formative couple of years in my kid's life where I was financially broken, and this is where I don't talk about a mistake I made with my kids. I never wanted them to see it. So, and I realize now I was emitting it. It was coming off my pores.
Wow.
Because I cried in the shower every day because I couldn't let anyone hear me. So that was my crying time.
Yeah.
And I would literally go and cry and beat myself up and go work my 3rd job and whatever I had to do, because you got to eat, you got to feed your kids. And they were also unraveling at the seams, but they were holding it together for me, and I was holding it together for them. And in retrospect, we would have been a lot better off to all maybe fall apart a little bit together. But there was no way I didn't have anyone to, I couldn't even talk to anybody. When you're that mired in that sort of like shame spiral, you can't even, who are you
Break
going to
down
tell?
for who?
For whom?
Break down.
Who's going to help?
50 Cent said, the reason why I can't quit is because I have nothing to quit to.
He's
I have
right.
nothing
I
behind.
fully get that.
And
I feel that in my soul.
yeah, so quitting was never an option for us. Giving up a car
Right.
was an option.
But this generation will. This generation will walk away from a job. They will walk away from a car payment. They will walk away from debt. They will walk away from responsibility like that.
Do you think?
They will do it.
Do you think our generation, may have had toxic loyalty to certain things?
Oh, God. To capitalism? Sure. Because we were brought up by the people that said if you just work hard,
You'll get the American dream. Go to school,
go to school, get an education,
get an education,
work hard, comply.
and the world is your oyster.
Yeah. But they never told us what the world was.
Or if we should even want.
Do we want? Right. I do think that's where our generation did better, because at least most of us looked at our kids and said, that doesn't have to be your oyster. You can pick any oyster you want.
Wow.
Like a lot of it, like my kids do things that weren't jobs when I was a young person, they didn't exist as jobs. I certainly didn't know about them. They've made choices I didn't have.
They've been afforded choices. I think maybe because of our shoulders, but also we had them in the right vacuum, where the internet, a lot of the things that we would have had to teach, not all things, but some things we would have to explain to them or do, they just,
it's on YouTube.
Yeah, and they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And
like I remember saying that when I had tried to teach my youngest child how, y'all, doing laundry is not this hard. Washing machines are not difficult. This child, weaponizing competence starts young. This child would be like, I can't remember. What do I push for the thing? There's a whole video. I literally, after like the third time, I was working. I was like, look,
I'm going to send you this link.
Figure it out or you don't wear clothes because I'm not doing it. Like, done. So, and again, as my daughter says, maybe you could have worded that a little more lovingly.
Yeah.
That's my daughter's loving way of going like, you sound like a bitch. But, you know, fair. Like, there's multiple things like that with mine that I can absolutely, my Gen X came roaring out of like, just do it.
I had an interesting conversation with one of my children. Hey, Dad, you think I should get gap insurance? Is that even needed?
Bless your heart.
My son comes home.
That makes my
Now,
heart.
I'm going to call you out, son. He comes home. He's like, Dad, I got the best opportunity.
Oh.
Now, he's got a job.
Okay.
But he met this guy who said he saw some leadership potential in him.
Okay.
And thought that he would be a great person on his team to learn how to day trade.
Oh, it's a scam.
So he's like, Dad, I'm going to make so much
my
money.
God.
And I was like, don't you quit that job. Don't you quit.
When
In
you-
fact, stop talking to that guy because he's going to ruin you. I've done every multi-level marketing scheme in
you
the
can do
world.
Same. Ain't rich yet.
Nope. Not from that
Well,
crap.
and that's okay, but that's the whole thing too. Like at our age, we're often parenting our old people in our family while we're parenting our adult children. Because some of the stuff is the same, I swear to God. Like,
Wow.
and don't get me wrong, like I love my old people in my family. But like, and I say old people because I have more than just parents. I have multiple old peoples that I deal with, that I adore. And I swear to God, sometimes it's the same conversation. It's the same conversation.
Don't talk to strangers on the phone. Don't give them your social.
Don't give them any information. Oh my God! Like you're like, seriously, stranger danger is still real. And so I think that part of stress for Gen X and some Boomers hasn't really been. It's been talked about, but I don't know the long-term effects of that particular thing. That being the sandwich, like we're the caretaking sandwich in the middle of two very difficult pieces of bread.
Oh my goodness.
And
wow.
like, how do we
navigate that?
Navigate it. Oh, we didn't say we had any answers to offer. We're just here to talk about all the shit.
We just talking. So,
but like, if you have solutions,
please comment. We need you.
Or if you're a therapist, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, we'd love to hear. Yeah, so please tell us. But okay, just a segue.
Mm-hmm.
How about the failure to launch, or the kids that just keep coming back? How? Okay, different people navigate that different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that navigation is based on economics and finances. That's
big part.
That's real. How your adult children might feel about your attitudes toward that might be not great.
I had a rule. Once you leave, that's cool. But if you come back as a guest.
Damn, Skippy.
You come back as a guest. And one of my kids, bless them, they were...
bless their heart.
They were in college, and they figured, you know what? I'm a rapper.
Oh, good God. Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. Great skill.
Okay.
Great penmanship. But rapping ain't going to pay the bills.
Not today.
No.
You got bills today.
You have to do more than just go around and sit in the studio,
yes.
right? So, rapping and schoolwork, he had to choose one. So he chose school rapping. And which meant the school said, we don't choose you anymore. We'll send you back home.
That's what happens.
And he called. He said, can I come there? I said, okay, you are 19. You're almost 20. This is going to be really different for you. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Right.
Because he came back thinking that he could bring his dorm life.
Oh, no.
We have rules. We have rules. You know, we have expectations. And one of those big ones is you are going to work somewhere. and you're going to save, we're going to make sure you're saving because you are not staying here forever.
Right. This is temporary.
You will not buy 10 pairs of Jordans and then go in the room and sleep on my air mattress.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely not. You got to get your own spot. But yeah, that failure to launch. But I feel good about it because we bracketed the time. We said January, whatever that year after that was, that's the expectation for you to move out. Until then, stack your money. Stack your money. Live like a hermit. Stack your money. And I can say that when he moved out, now after, not my problem, but when he moved out, he had a good chunk of money.
He was set. He had a plan.
Furniture.
He had a plan.
Yeah, he had a plan.
I have a friend, a dear friend right now, who is struggling with her adult child who has come and gone and come and gone a couple times. And this last time, and it's been hard for her. I know the kids out there don't think we have feelings, but the struggle, this woman has genuinely suffered and cried so much over this whole situation. Because the worry for your child because there's the thing, we come off looking hardcore to our own kids when we're laying down the hammer about something. They don't know that we go do that and then go throw up. They don't know.
I'm the worst with that.
I'm the worst.
I do it and then I say,
I'm so hardcore, and then I immediately, as soon as they're gone, I'm like, that was fucked up.
Do you want to go get something to eat? I do it
Here's
and then
some money,
I undo
something,
it.
God.
Cherie says I always undo the discipline because
That sounds, yeah.
I do the discipline and then I go, oh.
I do the discipline and I stick it, but then I will absolutely beat myself about it for 4 years without question.
Yep.
Because again, you can only do what you know and what you can do. And if my gut is saying this is the right call, this is the right line in the sand to draw, and I've had to do that, I will cry about it every fucking day, but I'm going to do it because ultimately my goal is to do right by them, even if they hate me for it. And I do think that's a key problem with our generation is we're not willing to have our kids hate our guts the way our parents didn't give a damn.
They could care.
They didn't get. Oh, you hate me?
Less.
Make your bed.
My mom used to say, "I'm not one of your little friends."
Oh, I heard that a lot.
I'm not one of your little friends.
I don't care
will
what
whoop
you do.
your ass. I am not one of your little friends. And I'm like,
I don't
you're bigger than me, so I know you're not my little friend.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Hi.
But I remember I said, I'm so mad.
Yes.
And my mom was like, well, go in there and cry. That way you'll pee less. She could care less. My mom did not care. She was like, look, I'm doing the best I can.
And here's the thing I wonder. As an adult, parent of adult, I wonder too, did they? I'll never know.
You will never.
I will never know. Because those conversations often can't be had.
Did not happen.
Can't happen. And a lot of them are dead now. But also, what they did, you weren't allowed, even as an adult child, to have those conversations with your parents.
No.
It wasn't permitted. There were so many boundaries around them and their behavior and their choices. And we weren't allowed to know. We weren't really allowed to know them.
Right.
Not in a real of course, this is very general. Some of you had lovely parents. Good for you. That wasn't us. But we genuinely, and I think that is somewhat generational, is you stand there, you write the notes to your parents, I hate you because you wouldn't let me go to Lisa's house on Tuesday. I hate your guts. And leave it for them. And they'd be like, all right. Well, and go about their day. Let me tell you something. If my children wrote me a note that ever said, I hate your guts, because I would be in a puddle.
Shambles.
I would be in the fetal curl crying to no one because no one would care but me. And I would be in shambles for days. It would hurt my heart so bad. And so I do think that's the key, because at least with all the difficult decisions I've had to make parenting my kids, I have said, this is so painful. I had to do this, and you did this, and I cried myself to sleep every night for 35 days. I kept count. It broke me. They have broken my heart so many times, and I think there's something to be said about you don't know until it's you. That's fair, because empathy, is developed. But I know with a couple things you've had with your kids, you're you're just we have tried to film this particular episode about 3 times, and it's been stopped by either one of us going I'm going through a thing right now, and I will cry through the whole show. I can't do it. That is very legitimate. That up to your eyeballs emotion even though they're not little anymore.
Because they're your legacy.
We worry for them.
You are in them. Like they're
that's my heart walking around out there.
Exactly. And sometimes we do come off like we don't care.
Oh, a lot. I'm sure I do.
But there are times as a dad where I have to draw a line in the sand.
Same.
You know,
Same.
could I be wrong? Yeah. But am I willing to bet on that?
Yeah, same.
I would rather you dislike me for the next couple of months
or whatever.
Or you know, for you to come back and say, "Oh my God, why didn't you tell me?" Right?
Yeah.
So because win or pass or fail, win or lose, it's the parent.
We always lose. We lose every time. Every time. So yeah, I yes. So it's hard, is what we're trying to say. Parenting adult children is hard. It is harder than anyone told us. It is not getting any easier.
Because now, as they get older, now you got to deal with spouses
and mistakes
and kids and all those things.
Oh my God, y'all! It is that true. Look, my best friend's mom says all the time: little kids, little mistakes; big kids, big mistakes, big problems. And because I never worried about my 7-year-old breaking the law and going to prison, but I've worried about one of my kids about that, and
they don't know. They have no concept of what it feels like at 12:41.
Yeah.
And before cell phones.
Oh my God, that was the worst.
And
the
you're just
rings.
like, or you're waiting for them and waiting for them.
Yeah.
And all you said was, I don't care if you stay out later.
But call me so I know you're safe. My kids never had a curfew. I never gave him a curfew. One, because he had no social life, and the other one because she'd come home. She was trustworthy. She's my eldest daughter. She's my emotional support eldest daughter, and she showed up. That's the truth.
I love it.
And she always showed back up, and I never had to really. We only went through one little phase of having to worry about that, and it was very brief, thank God, because that fear is debilitating. Like, I do look back and wonder about how my parents. How did they go to sleep when I was out? They would go to bed. They would go to bed and trust that I would come home at midnight. Why?
And wouldn't even know until the next morning.
Because I would come home, wake them up and come home, and they go, and I would go back out. They never do. I mean, they know now.
Yeah.
But like, I could be dead 17 times. They would never have known even where I was. And this is, y'all don't even know before cell phones, before Life 360.
Oh,
These people that track their children all the time. First of all, no, I don't even want to know. That doesn't mean I don't care.
Some things I don't.
You need to be able to be independent and have your life.
Because we went through that.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I don't because our generation also, we did helicopter parenting. That's our generation too. That was not a success. My husband, my sweet husband, teaches children with helicopter parents. It is unpleasant for all involved. It is not a success story.
So if you're helicoptering,
maybe stop. Maybe chill. Maybe get some therapy. Work on your stuff.
Yeah. But as we wrap up, I want to speak to that parental guilt.
That's going to be the next episode.
Yeah, we'll come back and talk about that. But please,
we got to.
Please free yourself. It doesn't mean you don't care.
Do you know how?
I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning.
We can talk about that because I am not there yet.
It is slow
It is slow.
Okay.
I'm going to be dead. Good Lord.
We're going to get this fixed, right? Listen.
We'll figure it out.
Thanks so much for sitting in. I'm Early. This is...
I'm Kim.
And this is the Root and Rhythm podcast where we are exploring the roots that bind us or ground us.
You don't even know our slogan.
I do. This is only episode 10.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I've lost track of that. We're so together. We don't know what we're doing. That's our official hashtag. We don't know what we're doing. We don't. Can you tell? But we have this shiny new equipment, so we feel very professional. So we're going to do kind of a part 2 of this, which is going to be like parenting and it's going to kind of focus a little bit on parental guilt. I'm sure it'll go all over the place as it always does with us. Mm-hmm. But if you'd be interested in hearing about that or contributing to the conversation, please do. Please like, subscribe, talk in the comments, share to your friends you think might be interested in this. If you have adult children you'd like to share that too, just so they maybe you'd like them to know that you really love them, but you're scared all the time. Whatever it is, because I feel that in my soul. Like we'd love that, and we really value input and and feedback, even if it's negative. You will hurt our feelings, but we'll pretend it doesn't, and then we'll fix stuff. We're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can with this no budget of all. So tune in next time for our next episode. We're going to talk about parental guilt and maybe surviving it and maybe navigating around it and hopefully maybe figuring out how to beat it. Maybe.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording this time.
Oh,
you get to sit.
I'm going to sit like I'm my princess era. Pause.